9 out of 10 wholesalers in your market are going to close 0 deals this quarter. Not because they're lazy, not because the market's too saturated, but because they made one decision 3 months ago that felt like a hustle and was actually a trap. Here's the picture. Monday morning, fresh list pulled, cold called hired last week, your texts are firing off, and the direct mail is dropping this week too. You feel busy, you feel like you're finally scaling your business, and you're telling your wife things are about to take off. 3 months from now, you're broke, burnt out, staring at your bank account, and the guy in your exact same market, worse list, smaller budget, and he's stacking contracts while you're stacking up the expenses. I've been in real estate since 2022, bought 19 properties in a year and a half, and I paid 30 grand into a coaching program that almost put me upside down, teaching me the most expensive marketing on the planet. So stick with me, because near the end, I'm giving you the one number that separates a wholesaler who occasionally closes a house from one that actually owns a business. Miss that number and none of this works. Here's the trap that I lived in for years. You pull a list, somebody in a face group says their Facebook ads are printing money, so you move your entire budget there. Then a guy on a podcast says Google PPC is the only thing that works, so you switch again. And a guy at a mastermind swears by direct mail, so you switch a third time. But every time you switch, you feel like you're making progress. But most of the time, you're just starting over. You're always doing marketing. You've never built an actual marketing system. From the outside, it looks like relentless hustle. It's actually the exact reason you stay stuck, especially in a market where everyone else is spending more money than you. And here's where it gets worse. When wholesalers decide to scale, they think scaling means doing more. More lists, more callers, more marketing channels, more software. So they step on the gas before they even know where they're actually driving to. But if the foundation is weak, you're not scaling a business, you're scaling inefficiency. More bad leads, more missed follow-ups, and more overhead on your deals that you have to carry every single month, whether you close a deal or not. So rule number 1, don't scale activity before you scale the clarity. The wholesaler who wins in a crowded market isn't doing the most. He's the clearest. One market, 1 or 2 real distress signals, 1 primary marketing channel, 1 repeatable follow-up process, and that's it. Now let me give you the actual framework, and it's just 4 words. Because, but, lately, examples. Stick with me, because this is the part that actually changes how you spend your money. Most wholesalers can tell you what they're doing. They're cold calling, texting, direct mail, Facebook ads, and ask them why they picked that channel or why a homeowner would ever respond to that message, and they go dead silent. They're running tactics with no strategy underneath it. So the second the tactic slows down, they're gonna panic and switch marketing channels again. So before you launch anything, you should be able to finish this sentence out loud. I'm targeting this group of homeowners because there's a real deadline, like a foreclosure with a court date coming, because unpaid taxes signal financial distress, because probate, heirs inherited a house 3 states away that they never asked for. Run the same test on your marketing channel. So why cold calling? And it may be because you have more time than money and you need conversations quick. Why cold email? Because $200 a month can send 20,000 emails. Compare that to direct mail, where 1 batch costs 25 grand. The same goal, completely different math. And in a saturated market, that math is the difference between surviving and going under. There is no best marketing channel. There's only the best channel for your budget, your skill, and your target at your current stage in your business. A guy with a 50 grand a month budget runs a different game than you trying to lock in 3 deals a month. Most wholesalers don't have a lead problem, they have a reasoning problem. Now the second word, but, this is the part nobody posts about. Cold calling is cheap, but it needs volume and callers who don't fold. Cold email scales for almost nothing, but bad copy torches your deliverability overnight. Direct mail pulls motivated calls, but the upfront cost is brutal. Paid ads bring inbound leads, but they get expensive fast and bury you if your sales process isn't tight. So when somebody flexes their Facebook deals in a group and they show you the revenue, they don't show you the cost per lead. The hundreds of dead leads, the payroll, the software, the management hours. Maybe they've got a 7-person team calling every single lead in 60 seconds. Maybe they got years of retargeting data. You're seeing their month 12 and trying to copy it in your month 1. You cannot copy the tactic and ignore the machine behind it. The best system isn't the one with 0 problems. It's the one whose problems you actually understand. Which brings me to why most guys in a saturated market are flying blind. Marketing never sits still. List quality shifts, competition floods in the second something works, your messaging can get tired, your follow-up quietly breaks and nobody notices. So you can't just stare at total leads and total deals at the end of the month. You have to look at what's happening inside the system right now. Say you made 3,000 calls this week. That's 300 real conversations, 30 qualified leads, 5 appointments, and 2 contracts. Now you've got something you can actually fix. Maybe your conversation count is low, meaning your data is potentially bad. Maybe you've got conversations, but no leads, meaning your script's broken. Maybe you've got leads but no contracts, meaning it's a sales problem. Most wholesalers can't do any of that. They know they spent $5 grand and closed 2 deals, but they can't tell you which list produced them or how many follow-ups it took. Without numbers, every problem feels like a marketing problem. So you keep switching channels forever. With numbers, you know exactly where the bottleneck is. Last word, examples, because vague strategy is useless the second you try to hand it to a caller or a virtual assistant. Watch the difference. Instead of we target distressed homeowners, say we target homeowners in active foreclosure with equity, and the outreach starts the same day the filing hits the record. Instead of we use cold email, say we send text-based emails with no links, rotate domains when deliverability drops, and every positive reply goes straight into the CRM. Specificity turns a vague idea into a procedure, and a procedure can be measured, trained, and delegated without you standing over anyone's shoulder. That's the real secret to scaling. You don't scale because you hired more people. You scale because the work got clear enough that someone else can run it without you. Let me prove this with real people in our community so it's not theory off a whiteboard. Dominique, 1 lead source, cold calling. He's a solo operator in Louisville, Kentucky, pulling 20 to 30 grand a month. He didn't spread across 6 different channels. He picked one and got absolutely obsessed with it. Look at Manny Madrid, full-time 9-to-5 job. His only channel is SMS using AI, booking his appointments while he's at work. He closes on the phone after clocking out. 30 grand in assignment fees in his first 45 days running this play. Neither guy won by spending more than the competition. They won by mastering one channel and getting brutally efficient with it. Now here's a number I promised you. The biggest mistake I ever made was believing a lower cost per lead meant better marketing. And it doesn't. You can drop your cost per lead through the floor and still blow up your entire business. A cheap lead that wastes 45 minutes of your team's time and never signing a contract isn't cheap. It's expensive in a way that never shows up on your spreadsheet. Your goal was never the lowest cost per lead. It's the lowest sustainable cost per closed deal. Picture 2 campaigns. Picture 1 gets leads at 50 bucks each, but takes 100 leads to close 1 deal. That's 5 grand before the payroll and the fallout. Campaign 2 gets leads at 200 bucks, 4 times the price, but only takes 15 leads to close a deal. That's 3 grand with way fewer conversations. Leads don't pay you, the closed transactions pay you. So never forget that. The number is what separates the guy who occasionally closes a house from the guy who owns an actual freaking business. None of this is exciting. The boring systems create a predictable business. Novelty makes you feel busy, and the repetition makes you money. So most wholesalers try something for 2 weeks, don't get a contract, and switch. That guarantees they never get good at anything. So before you hire another caller or you jump into another market, ask yourself, do you know exactly who you're targeting and why they'd actually sell? Do you know why you picked this channel specifically? Do you know how many attempts create a conversation? How many conversations create a lead, and what percentage of contracts actually close? If you can't answer that, adding more volume is not gonna fix your problem. It'll just make it more expensive. But here's the thing, all of this is for nothing if you don't know how to create an amazing marketing strategy as a wholesaler, which is why you can click right here to watch this video next, because I made a full 1-hour course teaching exactly how to do it step by step. Or if you wanna skip that, you can click the link down below, jump ahead of the line, and get everything done for you and work with me and my team today. Otherwise, I'll see you inside that video.